say 15 seconds again or not? Okay.
Hello and welcome to NAACP Perspectives, where we showcase and highlight successes and achievements in the Johnstown African American community. I'm your host, Ron Fisher, and with me today I'd like to welcome to the show both Yvonne Watkins and Bruce Hassery. Thank you both for joining me today.
Glad to be here.
Definitely. Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Well, before we get into what brings you both here tonight, what's new with the NAACP? Now, I feel like I'm out of the loop right now. I haven't seen you both for a while now, and I feel like a lot of things have been going on.
Well, a lot of things have been going on, but we pretty much over the summer we've had a little hiatus in terms of canceling one meeting just because of travel issues. But other than that, our legal redress committee has been working well, doing a lot of things, handling those kind of issues that they get, as well as our Freedom Fund committee working hard trying to get this set up.
Get set up for the fall. Golf outing we just had.
I heard that was a pretty good success.
Right. Reverend Williams chaired that committee, and they had a golf outing. Boy, I've forgotten the date. It was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Good turnout.
And had a fairly good turnout. The group of men that do that are really industrious in terms of getting the sponsorships and getting the golfers the turnout. I'm just impressed with what they do. They started early in April and just kept working all the way through. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, how's everything both personally for you both?
It's fine. Everything's fine. We're working very hard on the Freedom Fund banquet.
Yeah.
Right
Which is the reason why you both are here this evening.
Well, personally, I like a little bit more money, but I guess
we're the same line. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as you mentioned, Yvonne, the Freedom Fund banquet.
Right.
This is typically the biggest event for our NAACP branch here in town.
Yes, it is, and it's going to be on October 12th. Saturday, October 12th at Holiday Inn. It's at 6 p.m.
Now it's at the Holiday Inn this year. I know
Holiday Inn downtown. We usually move around different places, but this year it's downtown at the Holiday Inn.
At the Holiday Inn.
Right. We try to move it around from year to year just to give all the businesses an opportunity, to make some money,
Yeah.
So
Money makes the world go round, doesn't it?
Right. Try to stay in it.
Well, for our viewers at home that aren't too familiar with the Freedom Fund banquet and the history to the Freedom Fund banquet, could you please educate our viewers?
Well, the Freedom Fund, it's actually a fighting fund for freedom. Mm-hmm. And the national organization established that probably about 70 years ago as a method of raising funds to deal with the court issues. So they asked each organization, each local chapter to do some fundraising by having a banquet. Okay. And 25% of the proceeds, the profit goes to the national organization. So it's been something that has just picked up across the country with all the organizations, all the local chapters.
Yeah, so it's not just a local event, it's on the national level.
It's a national level.
It's a national level, and on the local event, it usually was like the thing to go to every year. Mm-hmm. The dress-up thing for Johnstown to show Johnstown off. We used to always do it. And we have good speakers, and we always have good attendance, and we hope it's be the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Excuse me, getting over a little bit of a cold here.
Well, you can stay over there.
I'll plan to stay at the distance. Now, you said you bring in some speakers for the event. Who were some of the past speakers that you brought in for the event?
Well, what we've gone to is what we call Return of the Native Son or Daughter.
Okay.
We've gotten speakers throughout the United States in the past. Our attendance has always been consistent, but probably 20 years ago we started looking at people who were from Johnstown who had something to say and showcase them here. So we've had, for example, last year was Donna Baxter, who was a CEO of a multimedia magazine out in Pittsburgh. We've had Daniel Perkins, who was a director and president of MTS Technologies. that had a business here in Johnstown. Had a business started in Washington, D.C. and brought it also back to Johnstown.
Okay.
We've had
Charlene Dukes.
Charlene Mickens Dukes, president of Prince George's Community College. We've had Dorothea McCrae, who was active or a strong employee of the local Red Cross. We've had Laura Perry, who was administrator at Pitt Johnstown. Just on and on. So we've always attempt to look at bringing some people back to act as role models, so that our young people can see that, well, you can aspire to do something, whether it's right here in Johnstown or out of town.
That's good. That's a good message. And it sounds like you had a pretty impressive list of past speakers. Right. So with that being said, who is a speaker for this year's program?
Okay, well, our speaker this year is Siobhan Holliday. Siobhan Holliday, who is works for Wimber Research Institute. She has now a PhD candidate
that's what I was saying.
at the University of Pittsburgh. She got an MA in public health. She got a bachelor's degree from Washington Jefferson College in biology. And she's a Johnstown High graduate, I guess probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And unique thing about her, she was a great high school student. She was a Gates Millennium Scholar, which is Bill Gates and his wife had national scholarships that only went to so many high school students, high school seniors, and she was selected as one of those, and they pay for your tuition for 4 years. And I think she had it in grad school as well. So that shows you what her academics are about.
Definitely.
Yes.
I mean, the PhD in itself is huge.
Yes. So she's working on that now.
Women here in town, that's really impressive.
Right.
It is.
Very nice. And the theme for this year's is Advancing the Dream, which is very good for somebody that can come up from Johnstown, that they can talk about that.
Yeah.
She's really excited about the theme this year, which is goes on with the march, the 50-year
50
march,
years,
and all that, advancing the dream. So all that's
with the 50th anniversary of the march, and several other organizations, and saw some things on TV and programs that talked about advancing the dream. What now? And so we figured we would use that too, and let this young lady talk to the community about how we advance that.
That's important too, because I know the history of Martin Luther King's famous speech.
right.
But I mean, time goes on and time goes on. And what are we doing now to see that progress? How do we advance the dream? So that's an important thing.
Right.
Whose idea was that?
Oh, we
Take
just
credit.
No, we're gonna take
Somebody that's not here. I'll do that. Yeah. The committee is Yvonne and I, and as well as Dr. Hollis and President Cashaw. We share the ideas, and and Dorothy Thomas as well. She's the typist that puts the program together. We have sent probably 150 letters to organizations and individuals to take ads, to buy tickets, to buy tables. Emphasis is on youth. We normally will get organizations and corporations who buy tables and donate them back to us to give to youth. Like I think last year we had about 25 youth there, so we're pushing that this year as well. We use our youth branch as ushers. We give them some responsibility so that they can sort of start growing and that kind of thing, and see how important this thing is for us. We have corporate sponsors. Last year, I think we had 3. MetLife, St. Francis, and who was the third one? I can't remember that. I think we have a slide to say that. Okay, Concord Technology.
So those are the sponsors for this year?
I don't know. They're coming in. Those were last year. Those were last year.
Corporate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have had St. Francis and MetLife have been a corporate sponsor since we began doing that about 11 years ago. We've been doing that. Folks get dressed up, come out, and
have a joyful evening.
Have a joyful evening and
last
fellowship.
year was the first time I attended. I had a great time there. It was good food, which was a plus. And Donna gave a very nice presentation.
Yeah, right.
And it was a pretty good turnout as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were scrambling for seats at one point last year.
Right. We always look for 180 to 240 people, depending upon who speaker is. Depending on, let's face it, a Saturday night in Johnstown in the fall. So it depends on football as well.
Also.
I remember one year we had it at the Holiday Inn, and I think Notre Dame and USC or somebody, and they were both good at that time, and we thought that we got a lot of corporations giving us the tickets because their people were like, oh, I don't think it would be there, you know. Occasionally we've done on a Friday night, and that's the wrong night to do it because Friday night in Pennsylvania also is high school football night. You know, so we've stayed away from that. You know, this is a process that begins a year early because we had to book the Holiday Inn last year about, I think it was in August or so last year in order to get the date. And we're about to do the same thing for a place next year. So it's like folks are getting married and stuff. They're way ahead and they get the place for the reception. We have to battle that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
So we can't wait till the last minute.
And the Holiday Inn's usually filled with dates and weddings and different ceremonies and events.
Sure. One of our other big things. You want to talk about the Freedom Awards?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask. How does the event break down?
Well, we have an adult award, adult freedom award. We have the youth freedom award, Saul Griffin award, and we also have another one, which is
the corporation.
The corporate award.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and all those awards could be, if you could write or to NAACP address, but we have all 4 awards you could give if you have somebody in that category. The Saul Griffin Award was one that's like, if you think of somebody in the community, you know, the organization would be an organization from any organization or business or something that have done things, you know, that you think, you know, that for the cause, and then
I wondered how you came about with who received the award. So it was by nominations.
And then we have a committee to look over the award, look over the nominations, and that's how we pick them
and select them. Yes, we have a separate committee that does that, and nominations will come in. We ask people to not just to tell us, but to write it down. You know,
write up. You have to write up something about it. You know,
and why you recommend it, and last year, I can't remember. Oh, last year's, I think we have a list of that too. Cassandra's hair salon. Tell us why Cassandra, what did she do unique? I know what it is, but I want you to say it.
The breast cancer.
Yeah, right.
Breast cancer, you know, she gave away wigs, she did hairstyling for them. She did, their nails, and to make a breast cancer survivor, you know, feel good about yourself. And she did some free stuff for
a lot continually, and she did fundraisers and walks,
and all
walks and stuff.
Now, if I'm correct, she wasn't aware that she was going to get that award.
No. They never know.
Find her last year. I think she was off somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
When that part of the program comes, she was in the restroom or something. Yeah. So we don't. It's always a surprise. And matter a couple times we've had people not be there because.
And sometimes we have to tell somebody in the company when we give the organizations or something.
Make sure
that somebody's there. To receive it. You know. But and it's it's really something because we try to keep it. Even to that day. You know.
So she was very surprised. And then also last year we had, as organizations, we had Wimber School District and Richland School District.
Because they had on the bullying.
They have 2 dynamic bullying programs.
Bullying programs that they put up. So we thought that was really unique. And so you have different things, different categories that you can think of somebody that might deserve it. Just send it in to the address that we see on we'll be seeing on the screen, and we'll make sure that they get recognized.
You have to keep that in mind. I wasn't aware of that.
Right. We have a long list of people who won it. I just have a few. Mentioned Yvonne Watkins.
And Bruce Ashley.
Hey, you guys keep it in.
We
have one.
And you know what happened? I was trying to go to that night I won it. I was trying to leave early and go to see the rest of Johnstown Trojan football because they played Saturdays then. And someone told me no, I had to stay and this and that, and that's what it was about. But we've had the Hat Ladies a few years ago. We've had Valerie Allen. Reverend McCrae, Dave Wilson, who was the chairman of our education committee for a long while.
Gladys Clifton
Yeah, okay.
works with
Former
this
host.
program,
Yeah.
former host here. Yeah.
Right.
We've had several.
Greater Johnstown Minority Scholars. Just again, these are just names. Or a few years ago, the Cameron County Grandparents Program.
Wow. Okay.
You know, so
Pretty influential people in there making an impact here in the community.
yeah, so that's what it's about.
That's all. That's what it's about.
Yeah, yeah. So we ask people to think about it and recommend some people to
So
us.
how's the not to I don't want to.
We do have nominations.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything of who the nominees are, but how's the nominees looking so far this year?
We have some.
Who the winners
No,
are already?
no, it's
No,
they
no.
usually don't decide till
The week-
3 or
Oh, really?
3 or 4 days
3 or
before
4
really.
days
This is real
usually.
hush
If it's
real.
yeah.
Especially
And,
if we get a lot
especially-
for one category.
right, and
We
you're
have
trying to
like-
sort out what's the best, what are the reasons to make the decision and stuff.
Okay.
So, and because I always tell, we have a company that does our plaques, and I'll tell them that we're going to do it, and they're always prepared to do them late because they know I'm
We
going to
have
get it to them
one
late.
day. They have done them in one day.
Yeah.
Really?
They have.
Yeah.
We've been that close.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds
yeah.
like a wonderful event. Now, how can somebody get tickets for the event?
Well, they can buy tickets from our members, or they can call our NAACP number. Our number 535-6937. That's right. That's
And
right.
they are the individual tickets are $40.
Yeah, the tickets are $40. But they can
There's a lot
call.
of value to that ticket. There honestly is.
Honestly, yeah.
It's a nice atmosphere. It's a beautiful crowd of people, and it's for a good reason.
Good cause.
Yeah.
Good cause.
Yeah, it's a good cross section. A lot of networking goes on just in terms of people seeing each other and making some connections. But it's relaxing, most of all, and we're excited just about Siobhan, being here just because
I'm proud of her. She was in my sister's grade coming up through school, a couple years behind me. And it's funny to see,
Yeah, see
the smaller ones come
what
up.
she have
and
come
it's like,
up, yeah,
and
and
accomplished.
where she come from. She's really an
That's
accomplished
So
person.
she's we couldn't get her for the show today, but that's because she's out in the Pittsburgh area.
right, and she has too many things to do with classes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand. That's
that kind of thing, grad classes stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
So again, the Freedom Fund banquet is what date now?
Saturday, October 12th
October 12th.
at 6 o'clock at the Holiday Inn, downtown Johnstown. That's Market Street, huh? Yeah,
Yeah, Market Street. Yep.
corner Market and Vine. Corner
And
Market and
again,
Vine.
it's typically a wonderful event, and I actually can't wait to even see what everyone has to speak about.
Right.
It's nice to see the young people get up there and speak, and
And the other thing that happens is I always ask the members of the executive committee to recommend some people to speak, and we got lists of people.
That's good.
We got a list of quality people in town and out of town who could come and speak, and we try to do is to stagger 1 year female, 1 year male,
Okay.
and just keep going back and forth like that. So people have told me names this year. We've written them down and
Already planning for next year.
keep them, and we haven't selected anyone, but it's in the hopper.
sometimes we can't do that because we had Donna Baxter last year. And
Well, we did, 2 females
Two males.
because we did 2 males
two males.
2 years in a
Yeah.
row. What happened was the twins
Yeah.
spoke, and Terry and Larry
Larry.
Hubbard
Yeah.
spoke together, and that was unique because Larry was sick, and he did die about a year later.
Year
Well,
later.
less than a year later with lung cancer. Young man, he was a principal and PhD and principal in Pittsburgh schools, and right here from Prospect, and the whole deal. But so we did them, which was 2 years in a row with male speakers, and so we're after this year we're back on.
Back to a male.
Right. Yeah.
Well, how long have you both been working on the committee for this program?
You don't want to know.
I don't want to.
I've been working with the NAACP for like about 45 years, but this committee I've been working about 30 years of it.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, it's
I
been a
worked
long
with
time.
Chief Butcher,
I remember being on the committee back in the day, and whenever the Freedom Awards were it was brought up and decided that we would do that because
We would do them.
my mom was one of the first recipients,
Oh, really?
and I remember working with Kathleen Brown and some other
and
people.
Some of the
So
other people.
it's been a long time. I don't know. I've been the chairman before, I guess, when Dr. Hollis became the president, because she and I were co-chairs for a couple of years, and she became president, and I became the chair. So it's a labor of love.
Yeah. I might have to hop in so you guys can pass that torch.
Well, hey, I'm looking.
We're looking.
I'm looking.
We've been-
I'm always looking over my shoulder.
myself.
I thought about you this year, even getting you more involved, and I'm thinking, well, he's doing this thing.
Yeah,
It's
We'll
getting
keep it in
weird
mind,
up.
keep it in
Yeah.
mind. It's
Good.
not
We
much
will, because
Sure.
it's a lot of work, and we need to pass it on. That's what we're trying
Yeah,
to get these young people that come back, thinking about coming back, or and doing things like
And
this.
that's why it's great to have somebody like Charvon on, because
Yeah.
the youth, they are doing some things. I was actually meeting with a local principal here in town maybe a few months ago, and he had told me how the young black youth, especially the females, were not doing extracurricular activities. They just weren't showing up for it. Reason may be that they have to watch their siblings after school, or they have to make that dinner for the family. So it was nice that you have somebody like Charvon being able to tell her story,
Right.
Yeah.
because
right.
sometimes you have your struggle and you don't realize that your struggle is not really that big of a struggle
When you
until you
hear
hear
somebody else.
Right.
Right,
That's true.
Yeah, it is. That should be an empowering presentation.
Sure. And she was when I called her and talked, she was wow. She jumped through the phone.
I'm sure.
She was excited and wanted to do it. Sometimes some speakers, well, I'm not sure or what, but she was. She said, I'll clear my schedule and I'll be there. So
I think
she's
the
very
last time
excited.
I saw Char, I was at a Live Johnstown meeting, and she happened to sit next to me, and they were talking about bullying, and then next up was Charvon, and she stood up. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you were, you were speaking or anything.
Yeah.
And she spoke very eloquently, and she had a lot of good facts about bullying.
Yeah.
So
Right.
She
Exactly.
definitely knows what she's speaking about.
Right.
Going for her PhD definitely shows that.
Right. Right.
So,
yeah.
The half hour always flies here when you're having fun. So, we have just a few more minutes left in today's show, but is there anything that you want to highlight or anything that you want to speak about before the show is over?
Well, just most of all that we want the people to our community to get excited about another local person who is going to present themselves to the community. So we want that support. Members of our church, members of our high school, etc. To come out and support. She is just a positive person, and so we want the community to catch up on that. There'll be press releases and those kinds of things going out probably right after the show will show. But so that's the most important thing, that we want people to come out and enjoy the evening.
Yeah, and I hope they do come out in the masses. And I hope that we do get a lot of youth there, because I think Char's presentation will be a good one for them.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, the emphasis will be on youth in terms of getting them out. So we'll have the youth branch there, and others. We're going to contact Johnstown High for them to identify some students to come. That will be paid for by corporate sponsors.
That's cool.
So, and our next meeting for the 2014 Freedom Fund Banquet will be in late November. We expect you to be at the meeting for the 2014 banquet.
14, you come to the meeting and get all the ins and outs of what all you have to do to get started.
I'm sure. And with that being said, we can always use some more youth in our organization.
Right.
Yes.
And this year we've been the whole unit has been concentrating on trying to get youth active. We've been really trying to. The youth have been pretty active this year.
Yeah, I can sing that.
So
It's a struggle sometimes to find out how to engage the youth sometimes,
Right.
because sometimes it's hard to figure out how to make them move.
How to make a move? That's it. Yeah. But we have a good youth director this year, and she's been very.
Yeah, she's been staying on it.
Yeah, she's been staying on it.
Yeah.
So we've been doing
There's been a
pretty
lot
good.
of good events, I think, this year with the youth chapter of the NAACP here in town. So again, I definitely enjoyed having you both here on the show to speak about the Freedom Fund, and I look forward to working with you all.
We're working, yeah. We're going to put you to work.
Right.
So again, what is the date for this year's Freedom Fund?
October 12th,
October 12th.
6 o'clock, 5:30, meet and greet.
5:30 meet and greet, and the event starts about 6
About 6 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another unique thing about ours is that we do the speaker first before we eat.
Okay.
Remember, we do the speaker, so the speaker's probably 15 minutes into the program will be the speaker.
So that means don't come late.
Come late, you
Don't
miss
come
it.
late,
Right,
you'll miss it.
right, right,
Definitely.
right.
And
Right.
again, if you would like to purchase tickets, you can feel free to contact any of our committee members.
And the executive committee members
Yeah.
also. Just call the number.
Yep, 535-6937. And you can find us on Facebook. You know, I
There you
handle
go.
our Facebook page, and I can take requests from there as well.
That's right.
Definitely can.
That's right.
Well, I definitely want to thank you both for being on the show. We have just another minute or two left. Is there anything else that you all wanted to speak about?
Well,
Any other highlight, anything that I'm missing? Because you know that when we end the show, there's always something that's like, man, I wish I would have said something about that. Bruce, I can see it on the tip of your tongue, too.
no, I don't think relative to the Freedom Fund, but just to say that the national,
general.
our organization will be participating in our state convention at the end of October.
Oh, okay.
And
Where's the convention?
that's going to be
And
out east.
Valley Forge.
Valley Forge,
Valley
yeah.
Forge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm not too familiar where that's at. Is that toward...
Philly.
No, it's
That's the exit before you go to Philly
Right.
off the turnpike.
Now,
Yeah.
other than the Freedom Fund, with you both being executive committee members, is there any other upcoming events with the NAACP that you're aware of?
Not right now.
Not right now, right?
Because usually this is Freedom Fund, and everybody's having Freedom Fund, so there are Freedom Fund dinners and stuff, and we've been trying to get to some of them.
Right. Some of the other people.
Other ones like Altoona and Greensburg, whatever, when they have theirs, we try to attend, so everybody try to attend everybody's, you know.
And then we'll be rolling to the end of the year with our annual meeting and that kind of thing.
Then you know Martin Luther King programs will be right around
Right around the corner, and
January.
that committee is working very hard on that. I'm sure you'll have them in there, but they're working very
definitely,
actively on that.
And I'm sure you two will find a
yeah.
way to be back on the show again to speak about. If I'm helping you, I can't interview myself about the
Right.
Freedom Fund.
Yeah, we'll let Bruce do that when you're doing the show. So.
Yeah. And
Well, it truly is a great event, and I hope that you all do get the corporate sponsors, and I hope that they can actually give the youth some seats, because it would be important, and I think it would be great for the youth to be able to take part in the Freedom Fund banquet. Again, if you want to be a corporate sponsor, you can also call
right.
the NAACP at 535-6937. If you would like tickets, please feel free to contact us. You have people with 30 years of experience working on this board, so you know it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show and a great turnout. And again, we have Siobhan Holiday as our speaker, and I'm telling you, she'll definitely have something worth speaking about and worth hearing. So please be sure to join us for our Freedom Fund banquet. And be sure to contact us if you have any questions or if you have any nominations for any of our awards.
Right.
So Phil.
The theme also is Advance to Dream, which is for what everything's been going on this summer in Washington and the marches and the different speeches. And I'm sure everybody saw them on TV, so that's what we're trying to advance the dream of 50 years of what we all went through.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're working on that.
I was seeing a lot of information from the National on Facebook about the marches down there.
Yeah, right.
They tried a couple of different things where you could be interactive through social media this year. So
Yeah.
if you weren't there, you could still kind of take part or take place in it, which is cool.
Which was good.
Well, again, I know I thanked you all a few times this evening, but again, it is a wonderful program, and I both really enjoy being in both of your company. So